as I can see that there's so much traffic in terms of the artificial intelligence, in terms of note taking. I'm already in mediocrity in terms of if to record or not to. So I'm not sure now. Say, I'm not sure.
Consent to the recording of the session.
Seconded.
Should be fine. So, yeah. Quickly, I'm just now looking. Times this visibility is traffic is get it should be fine. But I'm not sure now. EB is already got it. Yep. There. Right. All right. Welcome to the first practical session. And thank you so much for your time and for joining this conversation. We're going to have training sessions more or less weekly. I mean, trying to get so much coverage in terms of the functionalities. And also, let me just indicate this to you. It is always great to follow through, especially when you have already your sandbox. That's why I was really waiting patiently with this sandbox provision from AIT so that we can kickstart our practical training in terms of the hands-on component of this conversation. So as I'm just double emphasizing that it is always great to follow through to and also to do it as you watch, and it's definitely beneficial. That's the benefits of the sandbox, so that you can also experiment, as you progress. Since we are a large crowd, I must say it might be a little bit difficult to interject and say, please repeat this, I mean, based on the number. So it's quite great indeed as you follow through what you might have, let's say, what you might have, what might you be remembering uh, within that space as you are doing it. That should be fine. Then, then we can take it from there. Right. Thank you so much indeed. And let me just hand over to Caleb, my colleague, who is going to run us through today's session. We are going to see that we are going to alternate as we progress during our practical sessions. Thank you very much. It's all yours, Caleb. You can go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alfred. A very good morning to you all, colleagues. Thank you for your time and joining through the training. So the coverage for today's session will be focusing on navigating on the Brightspace in terms of familiarizing ourselves, as this is the new LMS that we'll be using going forward. So we need to then practice. So that is why there's a provision of the sandbox, so which then is able to help with regard to familiarizing ourselves with what is offered within the LMS. So for the coverage, we'll be looking in terms of the context with regard to navigating in the Brightspace settings, as well as being able to log in and log out using the SSO, which is the single sign-on, and then also being able to log out, and also looking into how to change your personal settings that are provided within the Brightspace that is far as consent, as well as being able to edit your profile and also editing the notification, as far as also changing the account settings and also navigating within the Brightspace primarily with regard to our institution, which we refer to it as ARC, and then also looking at the home page. And we also have the 2 navigation bar, which is now the top navigation bar, and then also getting to navigate to the home page. So that's the coverage of what we'll be looking in today's session. Okay, so what I will do, I will post the link so that we can be able to go through it together in that aspect. Let me just drop it in the chat for you to be able to log in, and kindly indicate those who are struggling to log in with regard to the sandbox. So I've pasted the link to be able to log in. So when you then log in, number one, it's important for you to log in using the SSO, which will be able to allow you access because of already you are signed in as far as the LMS is concerned, which we are currently using. RCLAN, and then it will remember your details. So you click on the SSO. So you'd have already logged in that aspect. So the link is there available in the chat. So kindly do so, ensuring that we log in and then we all move at the same pace. So I'd appreciate if we can all log in. And after logging in, then you'll be able to navigate looking at my courses. So under my courses, these are the courses that are available for you. And since this is now a training site, you will now see the sandbox available with your name. So that is now the sandbox that you're going to select. So with regard to navigating to the course, we have 2 options, either navigating to my courses or then going to the widget in terms of selecting the course there. So that is how then we are able to log in that aspect. Are we all on the same page so far? All right, thank you for the thumbs up. So after logging in now, then you select now the course, which is now the sandbox. It's available for everyone with regard to the provision. And then if you don't have access to the sandbox, you can either log a ticket or communicate to Mr. Alfred, and then you'll be able to assist you with that regard for the provision of the sandbox. Okay, so once you've logged in, so within the widget there, you'll be able to see your progress as you navigate within the sandbox. So it's able to track your progress, which now is a indication of how far you have in terms of percentage and the topics that are being covered with regard to the content so far. So after here, I want all of us now to navigate to the content. So you click on content on the navigation bar. So this is now referred to as a navigation bar. So you click on content. All right, kindly indicate with thumbs up if we have all done so that we can move together at the same pace. All right, so when you are within now the content of now the sandbox, which is now the module that you are allocated for familiarizing yourself with the LMS in terms of the functionalities and the features that are available there, then you'll be able to walk around in terms of the content that is available. So the first one that we'll start with now is the aspect of logging out. So when you want to log out, then you navigate in terms of clicking where now your name is. So with regard to that, then you'll be able to click on logging out. So for this purpose of this session, I will proceed without demonstrating the logging out part so that we can move at that pace. So what I want to talk to you about with regard to that when it comes to the logging out part is that after you've successfully logged out, then you will see a notification. And then it means that now when you log in, you will use the very same link in order for you to access. So again, going back to the navigation bar, which is referred to as the top navigation bar, this one, and then this one is now the bottom navigation bar for easy access. So within the navigation bar, we then have the view as a student. So by default, you are on the instructor mode, which you are able to view as an instructor. What does that mean? It means you are able to edit any content, you're able to create any new content as far as assessments. So that is why you're having the instructor mode. And then you can be able to click on view as a student. So within the LMS now, when you view as a student, this is now where you're able to see what a student are seeing on their side. So you can be able to navigate within now. Remember, we have now the content within, so it can be able to navigate with regard to the module information. And this is what now is available to students, what they can be able to see, and also within the assessments as well. So this is what students see on their end. So this is now the student preview mode. So you can be able to exit the preview mode, going back in terms of clicking, and then you go to exit the preview mode. So after exiting the preview mode of a student, then you are back to as the instructor. So are we clear on that so far? Okay, thank you for that. So within now, you are able to click on the first aspect, which is we refer to as the profile. So you go to settings again, and then there you click on profile. So after clicking on the profile part, so here it allows you to be able to edit your profile. You are able to include the picture, which now you have now your name as the user. So there you can be able to click on change picture, and then you'll have the picture under which now it will be visible also to the students as well, and that the picture that will be able to identify you. So if you want, you can be able to change that. And then we also have now the tagline that will be appearing with regard to that. And then as well as now the hobbies that you have or your interests. So this is now on an optional aspect. And then you need to know that when it comes to the part of the hobbies that you get to put there, the characters that you put should not be more than 4,000. In that, we're looking at the limit of the weight when it comes to hobbies. So you should not write an essay in this aspect, but rather just key bullet points in terms of your interest and anything with regard in terms of your information. So once you are done in there, then you can click on save and close. So that is the first part with regard to now changing your profile. So again, we have the second category under notification, which is very much important so that anything that is happening within the space, then you can get notifications. So this is when the student will be missing any assessment, any submissions that the student have made, then it will be able to notify you in that aspect. So you need now to go to the settings part and then click on notifications. So after clicking on notification, you are able also to select the contact method. So this is now the method in which now the students will be able to reach you in terms of communicating with you as their instructor when they want to message you. So by default, within being integrated into the LMS, then your email will be available for the student to be able to communicate with you. So we have now two categories under customization of the notification. So there you are able also to click on allow for course when there is any announcement, anything that is happening within to be able to alert you. So you can click on it because by default it's not activated. And then from there you are able now to save. So that is now with regard to customizing the notifications so that any instant alert you're able to get it from that aspect. And then once you are done, you'll be able to click on the save button. So after doing so, then we are able to also to move to the account setting. So which you go back to the same space, clicking on the top navigation bar, and then go to your profile with your name and click there. Then we go to account settings now. So under account settings, what it's able to do is that here you're able to add the pronouns. So this allows the other users to see your pronouns, and also you're able to set your personal pronouns. So for an example, it shows you in terms of allowing pronouns, then you're going to include what pronouns do you want to be there for them to be able to see. So all other users within the course that are being integrated will be able to see now the pronouns that you want to be identified with in that aspect. And then we also have now the font setting. So under the font, by default, it's on medium, so you can be able to adjust it based on your preference, and then you select the size to be able to adjust it. So when you click on the drop-down arrow, we have different font aspect that you can be able to choose from. So you can take it also to large, then it appears in that instant. And then any changes that you'd have made within after having been made all the changes, then you need to proceed in terms of clicking on save and close in that aspect. And then also we have now the read content. So the read content, it is able to assist you with the technology such as the screen reader. And then you select also the automatically mark items as you read and scroll throughout the page. So that is now the read content that is able to help you once you have enabled it. And then we also have the video settings. So this is there to ensure assistive technology that can detect video, select them and optimize the video during the presentation in terms of assisting you with any technological part. So these are then where you get to optimize in that regard. And then we have now the language aspect, and within the language parameters there, by default now is being set into English. So you can leave it in that aspect. And then also when it comes to the time as well, so you leave it there without ever making any changes or alteration. So after that, whatever changes that you'd have made within this space, then you will click on save and close. So from that, you are able to have made any changes in regard to that. So that's how then you get to manage within the account space when you get to make any settings. So before I proceed to the next topic about navigating in terms of finding the course and then the widget as well, I want to find out from you guys having any question. Are we on the same page?
So far, so good for me.
All right, thank you for confirming that. So now we are able to move to the next part of the discussion, which we have already indicated that the first part is now referred to as now the top navigation path. And then to the left here, it's referred to as the home page in that aspect. So it's able to take you home. So it's referred to as the home page, or you can classify it as the home button. So it's able to help you to return to your organization homepage from anywhere within the Brightspace. So wherever you are in terms of the content, then you can be able to click on the homepage, or you can refer it to it as the home button or my home. So by clicking on it, then it takes you back to the home page of where you initially started. So that's how you are able to navigate, and then how the button works around. So I'll go back to the course in that aspect and return to the content. So now that we have went through in terms of the home page, and then the one to the right, it is now the top navigation. So this one also ensures that you have easy access in terms of now the messages that are there, any global notification that you want to send or communicate, as well as now the username being appearing to you, and then also having the settings as well. And then within now the top navigation bar, you're able to configure regarding in terms of now setting up the account, your username, and also changing in terms of the notification with regard to that. And then from there, we're able now to move to the bottom navigation bar. So this is the one that we are now referring to. So under there, we have the first one, which is now the content. And then I would like us now to click to communication on the drop-down arrow. So under there, you will see announcement. So let us all click on announcement. So after clicking on announcement, and then you'll be able now to create a new announcement. So this is now where your announcement that you'd have made will be appearing. So by default, you will see the first announcement there, and then the number of announcement will determine in terms of you having made the announcement. So this one, I created it in terms of familiarizing and how to be able to use the announcements part when it comes to the LMS. In order to do that, then you click on new announcement. So after clicking on new announcement, then you have now the heading part, which you are going to name it in terms of what will be the heading of the message that you want to communicate to the students. So you'll be setting up the announcement there. So this one, it is in terms of now typing up the content, any message that you want to be able to say to the student with regard to that. So after doing so, we then have where you're able to add any content that you want to be able to share with the student with regard to the announcement that you are making at that moment. So in order to do that, when we have now where you click on this icon, it is where you're able to insert any stuff. So by clicking on it, so there you'll be able to find the resources that are available to you that you can be able to add to your announcement. So you can click on my computer in that aspect. So after clicking there, you're able now to load with regard to selecting the content based on where you want it to be from. All right. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I would click on this attachment. So after that, then it's loaded and then ready. It means that now when it appears like this, it's now ready to be uploaded and shared. So you click on upload. So after doing that, then you're able to select in terms of the option, whether you want it now to open in terms of a new window or the current window and so on and so forth. So after doing so, then we have now the content that we have attached. It's appearing in both the bottom and the top as well. So in terms of doing that, and then you are ready with it, and then you can now insert it. So it means that it's now available as the content that you want to be able to communicate or share with. So after having done so, you can either click on the aspect of publishing. So when you publish, it means that now it will be communicated and made available to the students. So if you want to come back and work on it, you will then be able to save it as a draft. So when we click on publish, so now the announcement is now available. So it means that the student will be able to see. As you can see, we have the status. So the announcement that you have published, it will indicate under the status as published. And then the one that you have saved as a draft, again within the status, it will indicate to you that the announcement is now saved as a draft, is not published and made available to the student. So you can be able to create any announcement with regard to your communication to the student, as it is important to have continuous engagement with the student. So that is then under the category of creating an announcement to the students. Under communication, and then we have now the second part, which is now the category of activities, which you'll be able to use as you progress, and then based on the other sessions and trainings that we'll be having proceeding forward, they will be also communicating with regard to some of the aspect within. So let us now go back to the content. So when you are now on content here, it then shows you in terms of the module information. So clicking on the module information, we then have the introduction. When you click on it, it shows you this is now the introduction outlined. And then the most good part about it is that when it comes to the module outline, it's available and you no longer need to download it and also attach it so the student can be able to see this as well. So that is now in the terms of navigating within. And then we have the other part, which is now help, available in two aspects. The first one is within now on the module information, or on the navigation bar, you can be able to click on help. So how does this help you? When you click on it, let's explore together. So by clicking on help, then you have now in terms of searching the community, logging a ticket, and then the course admin. So for the purpose, I'll say let's go to search community. So after going to search community, a new tab will open under which now you need to go to the higher education. So after clicking on higher education, then we have now in terms of the documents that are available to be able to assist you as you navigate. Then here we have admin, learners, and then instructor. So the role in which you are being configured and given rights to is the instructor. Then you'll go to the instructor assistant in terms of looking for help in that space. So once you have now logged in and then you are here, so it will be able to give you topics in terms of where you can be able to navigate and what is it that you want to do at that time. So when you want to explore further in terms of your own progress, before we even have further training, as we encourage you to explore on your own, then you'll be able to use this space and then navigate in terms of what is it that you want help and guidance for. So that is then the aspect in terms of being user friendly in that sense. So I'll pause here for any question before I'll hand over to Mr. Alfred. Any questions? Right. So without any question, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining in the session. And I will now hand over to Mr. Alfred to conclude. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Caleb. In the chat, I was monitoring it, and actually, there are no questions. Some of the questions, I was just addressing them as they were popping up. And of course, indeed, the outstanding question was in terms of can announcement be sent as emails? Yes, that's correct. I'm sure you're asking in terms of if announcement is maybe published within a specific course. Yes, it is. It goes directly to the student academic email, to be more specific. Then also, what I've just done here, I've just put the list together of those who indicated that they do not have access. So please, in the event that I've skipped you there, I'm going to add Zapang as well there. All right, so I'm just taking care of that. Right, as Candice, I can see your hand is up. You can go on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Alfred. Okay, thank you, Caleb. I've seen agent's message about other teams' portfolios were being created in the sandpit, but I just have a question in the Brightspace community, where we understand that this is for the academic teams in terms of how they will, create content. If it's going to be just a quick question for L&D or learning and development, would there be an option in Brightspace community to then click on the corporate option when you're selecting your place of teaching and learning?
All right. In terms of that space, I believe it's more or less like an organization. I'm sure you can help me there because all right, let me just give you some context in terms of I can say the appearance or the how it looks like. Like right now, you're absolutely right in terms. I believe you're talking in terms of the different sandboxes which were created. I can say for now, these have been created just for the sake of exploration. So in terms of, because there are so many conversations going on at the moment, I must say, and I believe your component will come in line with an organization. I'm not sure if I've give you some
Alfred.
sort of yes, Adrian, you can go ahead.
Cool. Thank you very
Thank
much. Candace, thank you for the question. I think maybe let's just go back to the sandbox environment for now. The sandbox is really for the kind of the academic teams who are going to be facilitating interactions with students. So that was our main aim for having the sandboxes, because they are the ones who need real understanding of the functionality and what it can and can't do, and leveraging the new functionality in the space. That's not to exclude anybody. So for example, the ops team, there's a role for the ops team in ARC as well. So they will need access to a sand pit of sorts to get used to that role as well. So don't want to exclude anybody, but I think the initial list that was sent through is from an academic point of view. So the learning and development team certainly needs access. Any ops individuals who require access, please just, we'll send out like a consolidated mail and say, please, if you've got any additional sandboxes that need to be created, just send through the details. But Candace, more to your point, the Brightspace community it's a general community that once again focuses on a lot of kind of academic delivery. So a lot of that content is about classroom practice and practice with the LMS that impacts students. Are you trying to figure out if the corporate option will provide different information? Is that your question?
Yes, exactly that. Yes, Adrian, that's
Okay.
what I'm asking. Thanks.
Okay. Look, the answer is we're not sure then.
Okay.
And I'll ask Alfred to have a look at what the difference is between the general community and what that corporate community looks like. So we'll have to get back to you on that one, okay?
Thank you so much. Thanks, Adrian. Thanks, Alfred.
Sorry, Candace, lastly, have you tried to access that? Have you tried to join that?
No, we've got access as everybody else has, but I just saw the corporate part, which would be more relevant to learning and development as opposed to the higher ed option for teaching and learning, because it's
what I'm asking,
content would be created differently.
What I'm asking is there currently anything that's preventing you from joining that corporate community?
No, I'm able to get in there. Actually, I've just clicked in there. Yes, I am able to get in there. It seems, yeah.
That's cool. So then well, let's just have a look. If we're able to do that, then I think we can just go in and check if there's something of benefit there.
Okay,
but
lovely.
It doesn't sound like we have to do anything to give you access to that space. So feel free to go and play.
Thanks, Adrian. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Alfred, the other one was from Carl, was about the announcement via email. I guess what I'm trying to figure out is from a lecturer point of view, for this audience, would this audience need to do something in order to trigger that email, or is it a default activity that, you know?
From the look of things, it is a default because it is configured based on the students enrolled within that specific course, or in this case, we are looking at the sandbox. So specifically, it will be within, like we have got our 6 students, I think. Those should, I mean, automatically, because I tested it with Riley at some stage and realized that, it was really going out to the student. So it should be by default at the moment, yeah.
Then I wonder if perhaps in the next session, Alfred, we can talk or look at how you exclude certain students then. Because if it's a default thing, maybe sometimes you don't want to send it to everybody. So how do you customize the communication via email, perhaps? That might be something useful to add to the training list.
All right, I will definitely add that within the next session. Thank you so much, Adrian.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, I just want to find out if there is anyone else who might have a question again. And it will be great probably to keep our questions aligned to the conversations we had, because this is just the first session, which we had just now. And we also have different components for different sessions. As you can see, the moment I was attempting to answer other people's questions there, I was trying to probably sort of indicating in terms of coverage as well. Thank you so much for that. Right, Adrian, I can see your hand was up. You can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, and maybe it's just a question for the audience and a show of like a thumbs up or something, but we did send through like a training plan and what's going to be covered in different weeks. My question to the audience is, did you receive that plan, or would it be useful to share that training plan in this chat? Did you all receive the plan? Thumbs up if you did. Ugh, no thumbs, Alfred. No thumbs. Look at that. We got one.
All right.
Couple, two. So maybe, Alfred, it would be useful to share that training plan in this chat, because then, you know, we know we've got it, and people can align the questions they have, knowing what's coming in the future.
That should be fine, Adrian. I'm already thinking that maybe to include the itemized one, since the other one was more or less like a theme, and actually the itemized one, even though it looks longish,
that's fine, as long as you then put the dates. Just put the dates, align the dates with the themes, right? You get what I'm saying?
That should, yeah. I'll set that, then I'll share it within this space. Thank you so much, Adrian.
Yeah, maybe you and I just touch base before you share anything, but yeah, we can just double check. Okay.
All right, that's good.
Cool, thank you.
All right, if we do not have any questions, then today we have covered what we anticipated to cover, and thank you so much for joining, and have a wonderful day further. See you again in the next session, and please explore, so that at least you can have some sort of how it feels in terms of this virtual space. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.
Wait, hang on. Tina's got a question.
Alfred, just a quick one. Does that plan include dates and times? Because I just want to make sure, you know, that I kind of can plan my week in advance to make sure.
That's what I want to double check, Tina.
I'll
double check on that.
Thanks.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, bye.
Thank you, bye.